Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, my guest is Yulia Grosheva, and she is a Russian Orthodox woman who I met on Instagram. I started looking at all her posts. She talks a lot about different martyrs, saints, a lot of beautiful imagery of icons in churches, and she just seemed like a lovely person. So I reached out to her and asked her to be a guest. And so this is my first time getting to have a conversation with her about her life, and I'm excited to learn from her today. Welcome, Yulia. How are you?
Thanks, Alison, for inviting me. Yeah, I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really feeling good today. I'm just happy to finally meet you. And we are going to just have a little chat. We didn't decide on super clear topics today other than orthodoxy, her marriage. I just want to get to know her, and she's also going to share some books that she can recommend to the audience. So, Yulia, why don't you just give us a little bit of background about where you're from, maybe how you met your husband, and what it's like being in the US. And I know you've been to several different types of Orthodox churches, so maybe you can share about some of the differences between Antiochian, Russian Orthodox, Coptic, because a lot of my audience are brand new to Orthodoxy. And even myself, I am not that familiar yet with the differences between the church. So first, just tell us a little bit about you and how you came to the US.
I was born and raised in Russia, so my parents were not, they were Orthodox, they were baptized, but we would go church only for Christmas and Pascha. So the first time I received communion and confessed, the first time was when I was 20. So it's been a while. And since childhood, I can say that I felt there is a God, and mm, at one point of my life, I had a lot of friends of atheists. I didn't have any friends, Orthodox friends. So, and that one made me think about faith more deep and think about it and try to explain to my friends. So that's how I started to learn about Orthodoxy and actually went to church. So when I first communion and start going church, we had a nice priest who organized trips and helped us to restore the ancient churches of Russia, which were destroyed during communist time. So that one too, that was very interesting and helped me a lot to learn about Orthodoxy. Um, with marriage, I can say that there are a lot of youth meetings in Russia, and we have some friends um, who helped us to help us to meet. My husband and I met online, and most of um, like because of our friends. So we start communicating, and we had different backgrounds, different cultures, and different languages. Everything was so different, except that we start speaking about God, and that's one of the points which unite us. And we felt like we're like mm, very similar people and feel very comfortable. Um, so uh, after that, after marriage, we decided that I will move to the United States. But I can say that in Russia and United States, it's different. In Russia, you are kind of have a lot of churches open every day, and you are. I I think I was spoiled a little bit of that because had liturgy every day and everything, but also. Um, I can say that in the United States, when I moved here, I find that the Orthodoxy, it's not only Russian Orthodox, but you go to each church and you feel that people are um, like from different nations and they pray to God in different languages, but they're still like a one family, like one church, and you see different cultures and everything. I think that's one of the very interesting things about America and about Orthodoxy in America. Um, yeah.
And so I've never been, the only church I've ever attended liturgy at is my Antiochian parish. And before we started recording, you were talking about hearing the liturgy in Arabic, and so that a Coptic church, or no, Antiochian church, but they gave the liturgy in Arabic. Is that right?
Yeah, so because my husband, he is originally from Middle East, from Egypt, so we would go to Antiochian churches because they sometimes pray in Arabic, and also it was interesting for me to listen like Byzantine chant or different chanting, and see the people, because in Russia you have Russian churches, you don't know much about, Orthodoxy in Middle East or Orthodoxy, I don't know, in Asia or something like that, or Orthodoxy in America was something new to me also. So it was a nice experience to hear the language, like Arabic, and that's nice. Sometimes we add some prayers to our like morning or evening prayers. Sometimes I learn from my husband some prayers, and he also learned from me Russian prayers, and I learn Arabic prayers.
That is so beautiful. What about Greek? Do you know any Greek, or have you been to a Greek
Yeah,
liturgy?
I visited Greek churches. Very nice. I think it's interesting too because Greek language, the Bible was written in Greek,
Mhm.
so it's for me, it's interesting to learn new words. Also, in even in Russia, we have many words which are Greek originally, and actually in Arabic and the Russian, we found many words are similar because of the Greek roots. So it's kind of interesting,
That
especially in
is.
church. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so interesting. I wish I could learn Greek. I I've
I'm not
tried
Greek.
to learn a few words, and I don't know why it's just really hard for me, but it's beautiful. And yeah, I love tracing the roots back to the original Greek words. In my catechism class, a lot of times we discuss the Greek meaning. They'll even write the word out in Greek on the board, and then we'll discuss like what that word really means and how it applies to the verse, or the scripture. But and I do want to add that Yulia told me before we started recording that reading the Bible helped her learn English, and I told her English is just amazing. So can you explain a little bit to us how you use the Bible to to learn English?
Well, first I learned English at school, just the basic grammar, but I didn't speak any English until I start reading some books, and the first book was the Bible, and I find that the Bible and the Holy Fathers helped a lot with the language, especially prayers. I remember I had like music songs from church, like hymns from Divine Liturgy or All Night Vigil, and I would, because I know them already in Slavonic and Russian, so I decided to like listen some of them, and that helped me also. um, the Bible, like I find that, because the Bible translated, the translation of the Bible is very like word by word, and you can find the verses. So it was easy for me. And also, I like to read the Bible. We actually at home we didn't have a Bible until like um, I think I was like age 20 or so. Just it was not easy to get it
Mm.
at that time. And Russia, before the collapse of Soviet Union, it was very difficult to get a good Bible. But we had the Law of God, which helped us a lot, like the book, The Law of God, where there were a lot of like Bible stories and everything
Mm.
like that.
Mm. Okay, so I want to go back to when you met your husband, and then eventually got engaged, and I read on your Instagram that you had more than one wedding ceremony. Is that correct?
We had, yeah, kind of, we had one ceremony in church and then also two, two more. Yeah.
Two more, so three total.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that. What were the differences?
Yeah, we got married in Church of Apostle Thomas in Russia. Um, so the first we decided, because in Russia you can't get married in church, you have to have a civil marriage, sign the papers, and then you bring those papers in Russia to the priest, and then he make the ceremony in church. So we decided that we will do it in Russia and then also make it an Orthodox church. And then when I came over to the United States, because his family is here, so we decided to make an Egyptian wedding. So it was
Hmm.
Orthodox Russian with my family and also Egyptian. Yeah.
Oh, did you have
Interesting.
different dresses for each one?
Not really different dresses, just it was different, especially in church. I remember that in church, the wedding, a lot of Orthodox friends, and I really love that we have some people to pray for us. So I think it's important when people not just going to the like a party, but also go to church to pray for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've only seen one Orthodox wedding. I had to watch it via live stream because I was really sick. My husband and I were sick and we really wanted to go, but it was it was great watching it on live stream because I got the best view in the house because the camera was facing the bride and groom, and it was just so beautiful. The hymns that were sung and the scripture that the priest, I guess it's common to read scripture from the Old Testament during the wedding ceremony, or I don't know if it's in every Orthodox wedding that they do that, but and then the crowns. Can you tell the audience who is not anybody who's not familiar with what the crowns are for? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's usually they wear crowns and it's like a symbol. There are many symbols, but one of them is like a martyrdom, and also because you know when somebody's got married, it's not like easy life. It's you are trying to like work on yourself and love other person, so it's your way to God with this person who's helping you. So it's kind of difficult, so they want to show us that it's kind of a martyrdom in some way. And also that because you became like a I could say when you have kids, when person has a kids, then they will be like I would say uh, like not a kings, but they have their family and they became like a king and queen for the kids. So something like that. Also, I want to say that I have on my ring the like a prayer which is written in Arabic, and there is a cross. It's Antiochian ring, and it says exalt them. It's from the prayer of the ceremony of the wedding. Exalt them as the cedars of Lebanon. So it's a verse from Bible used as a prayer during the ceremony, where priest asking God to exalt those people uh, as the cedars of Lebanon.
Oh, wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your travels because I've seen in your posts you've been all over the place. What are some of your favorite holy sites that you've visited?
Yeah, we've been to couple countries. One of my um, like favorite places, I would say, or the places where I would like to come back is in Cyprus. I love there are a lot of history, like Orthodox history in Cyprus. Also, my husband loves to go to Mountain Athos. I think it's a very unique place, especially loved by Orthodox people. I like Cyprus most of the like. There are many holy places related to ancient saints, like for example, related to Mother of God, or Saint Lazarus, the friend of the Lord, who was a bishop there. So it was very interesting to visit those places where many years ago Christians prayed and where the first Christians was. So it's very interesting. I love that. Also, they speak Greek and they are very friendly. So I feel that I'm like at home.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there are. I remember one place. Uh, it's like catacombs. It's underground church, like very small church underground, um, dedicated to Saint Thecla. Uh, so she was a pupil of the apostles. So uh, it's very interesting. You go on inside, and there is her icon, and the people were hiding there. I guess they were praying there because it's very ancient catacombs. It's very nice. Also, it's on the beach and it's hidden. I wouldn't see it if there was no cross on the top. So, also there is Saint Lazarus Church, where Saint Lazarus was buried. Um, he actually has two tombs, one in Palestine and one in Cyprus. So the first time when he died, and then Christ came and raised him up from the dead, and then he became a bishop in Cyprus, and he was there. And then when he passed away, they buried him there. So
Wow.
that's interesting.
That is very cool, very interesting.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned a very special place before we started recording that had to do with Christ. Can you tell us about that place?
Oh, the which one? St. Thomas Church?
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember now.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I will tell because this is important church too. It's St. Thomas Church in Russia. There was a priest. We got married in this church, and we chose it not just randomly. We decided we will get married there because one of the priests who, like, after reading his book, I first time went to confession. His book is very interesting. I have it here. They published it in English, but it was originally in Russian. So it called "The Instruction for a Mortal," or "What to Do If You Still Die." Uh, it's a book about toll houses. So what happened after the death of like he's a priest, and he's telling us how was his experience when he went to the people who were about to die, and they asked for communion. It was like in Russia. So he would explain how they died in terms of some people were receive the communion and they die with a smile on their face. Some of them were kind of suffering from something he didn't know what that was, but he's telling that he feels that there was something that they were scared, or so he explained all that. And also he explained what happens after death according to the teaching of the fathers about the toll houses. So it's what happens with the soul after death. And reading that, after reading that book, I felt that I wanna learn about it, and then I feel that I need to go to confession because it encouraged me to go to confession and communion. So we got married in that church. He was killed. He was a missionary, so he baptized a lot of Muslims, and he got calls from Muslims. And actually, he was killed in the church during the confession, like he was going out. Yeah, so on that place they kept his relics and the icon of new martyrs. So for me it was a special church because like I went there, I studied there. There is a school like where you study the Orthodox faith. It's a very well organized parish. They have a lot of um, classes. There is also a school which prepare people, for kind of knowing about orthodoxy and help in parishes. So it's a very active parish.
Wow.
And yeah, so all these make me to pick up that church. And my husband, of course, he loved this priest too. So we decided we'll get married there.
Wow, cool. What other books did you bring to show us?
Yeah, there are some other books. Like he wrote about like that one I like so much. It's a Protestant's walk through an Orthodox church. Very nice. Yeah. So he writes here about all the like a church, like he compared to the Noah Ark, and he tells everything. Like it's a conversation between Protestant who is trying to, convince priest to be a Protestant, and then he explains him everything. And that's just amazing, like how he everything from the fathers and from the scriptures. Yeah,
Mm.
that's nice. Also, he wrote a lot of books. I like that one. How often should one commune?
Oh,
Yeah.
I just started learning about confession and communion or I mean, is that referring to the Eucharist? That's what I'm assuming it's
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Eucharist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're learning about that in catechism. So that looks like a good one. I'm going to put links to these books in the description for the audience so they
They
can
are
look for
all
these.
like I bought them from Jordanville Monastery bookstore. They're available online. Maybe I'll try to find the link. Yeah, I will try to find the link, but I'm not sure because they are all translated and it was just something recently.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that a lot of Orthodox books are very recently translated to English, that 20 years ago, we didn't have nearly as many options for Orthodox books like we do now.
Yeah, yeah. When I was looking for Orthodox book, that's actually one of the problems which I have. I like to read in English. Um, I like to read in English, and some books I was not able to find. Like, for example, in Russia, we have a website where you can find everything available online for free. So anything you need to know about the Bible, all those books are available, and also the explanation of the gospel on each verse. It's just we have some apps, so there are a lot of information, and it's available for free. I really would love that we have something like that in English because many people would like to learn it, would like to read it,
Mhm.
but it's not so available. Have to purchase books. Like one book which I purchased, it's a huge one. It's for daily readings.
Oh, wow. That is huge.
Daily reading for each day of the year. So with the explanation of the Holy Fathers. That's
Oh my
very
God.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Can
not easy to get one like that.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask, like, where could I get that one?
I think
It's
that
not
one.
easy to find.
Most of the time I order them from Jordanville books.
Jordanville.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jordanville bookstore. Yeah.
So, I'm really loving learning about the saints right now. I'm trying to read as much as I can about them and their lives, and especially the women saints, because I'm deciding who my patron saint will be. I mean, I have some time to figure it out, but can you share with us a martyr that really stands out to you that you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, I think um I like the Mirror women, uh, and also I think one of the first martyrs and female saint was Saint Barbara. I actually didn't know that it was she. I saw her icon. I was a child, and maybe I was 5, 6 years old, and I went into the church and I saw that icon. She was wearing a crown, and she had a chalice in her hands. So I really loved that because I felt uh, that she was the one who was having a chalice in her hands. And I was thinking about it for a long time until I knew that it was Saint Barbara and that she prayed for the people um, who died without communion. But also I like her story that she didn't um, she raised in a place and the area where she was not able she 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 didn't have chance to learn about orthodoxy and about church, but then she somehow God gave her that opportunity, and I think it's great. And also uh, from her life, I like that how she uh, look at the stars and everything and the beauty of the world, and she find that God exists and that the idols are nothing. So, because it was something that I feel when I became Orthodox, I loved astronomy and all that. Look at the stars and everything, like just the beauty of the night sky.
Yeah.
And like one of the moments I remember in childhood, I saw a comet, like in the sky. It was something beautiful. It was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I started thinking about God and how He created everything so beautiful. So one of the saints is Saint Barbara. I really love her. Saint Catherine. I also like Saint Catherine. Her story is interesting, but she was for me. I see her as a very wise woman, and also she dedicated herself to Christ. So it's also she's Egyptian. I mean, she was born in Egypt, and I love that country. I like the holy places of Egypt. Um, like that, this is the land where Christ stay for some time, and the Mother of God. Yeah.
Yeah, and next, perfect, because I wanted to talk about the Mother of God next. I am just starting to learn about her life as well, what we know about her as a selfless woman. And as a woman myself, she is, and I have her icon right over here behind me. I aspire to try to live my life selflessly. It's not always easy. And so tell us about how we can um, use her as somebody to look up to on our path as a Christian.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm learning too. Yeah, because the Mother of God, one of the questions, like in Russia, we always pray to the Mother of God, but I always had that question, why do we like her so much? And one of the fathers who really helped me in that, I still have sometimes that thoughts, why do we like her? But anytime when I pray to her, I feel that it's like I feel her as my mother or something like that. Um, I really like St. John Damascus. He wrote about Mother of God and a lot of orthodoxy in general. One of the first books which I read and really helped me to learn about faith. I'm still learning. Sometimes when I don't know something, I just open his books and I find like everything is ready, and it's just amazing how he wrote. His book called The Exposition of the Orthodox Faith. So he wrote about Mother of God and about like why should we pray to her, why we should why she's a virgin or everything about her. So I think that's a great teacher for us. I don't think I can add anything to him.
And then the next thing I wanted to ask you about was Saint Peter. You let's see. Oh, the feast. You wrote about the feast of Saint Peter. Actually, let's just talk about the feast days for somebody who's brand new to Orthodoxy. Can you just give a really general explanation of what the feast days are and what we do on feast days and why?
Yeah, sure. Uh, like we uh, like we used to go to church on Christmas and Pascha. So most of the time I never actually just went to church to pray and to attend that like a long service. So I didn't know about communion, confession when I was a child until age 20, I think. Yeah, 18. So for me at that time, the feast was something like you have a nice like dinner with the family, lunch or something like that. Um, but uh, then later I realized that there is confession and communion, and for me, it became something that the feast is when you are with God. So um, also as a feast, like we have, it's different from church. Like for example, in Russian church we use old calendar. In Antiochian Greek churches they use new calendar. I sometimes kind of confused with those two, but I hope one day we will have the same. I don't know if it's even possible, but have the feast on the same day. But I'm happy that we celebrate Pascha the same day, so it's very good. Also, we have fasts. Like before each feast, usually we have fasts. Like for example, now we'll start Christmas fast, and then we'll have Christmas. And we'll celebrate on 25th. We'll celebrate on January 7th, and then some other feasts, such as like for Mother of God, the Dormition feast. Um, Generally, what I learned very interesting me that every time when we start the new year, we start with the Mother of God feast, like when she was born, and then we come back to her Dormition. That's kind of what I learned just recently, and I think it's very beautiful.
It is. Yeah.
Uh,
So do you at your church on feast days, how is it different than like a regular liturgy, for example?
we usually mm, it depends which feast, but generally speaking, it's we have in Antiochian churches and Russian churches there is a difference. We have all night vigil, which is at night, so it's like vesper, and then we have matins. Whereas in Antiochian church they have matins in the morning and then liturgy. So we have all night vigil, and then we have liturgy the next day, usually on Sunday. The difference, I would say, I noticed the difference between Russian church here and uh, in Russia, because, for example, Christmas we would celebrate at night in Russia, from, for example, 10 p.m. to like 4 or 3 p.m. of a.m. So all night. It's
Wow. Singing
Christmas. And
hymns or just praying or what? Or both?
we start like all night vigil and then liturgy. So it's like the same like in Pascha. I'm not sure how they do in Antiochian Church for Pascha. I think they start early, like 7. I'm not sure. I think they start earlier. Maybe they do the same, but we usually have Pascha and Christmas in Russia from like 10 p.m. to 3, 4 a.m. And before that, before we receive like communion, we usually go confession. So every time you want to receive the communion, you go to confession. And then usually like read special prayers and canons for that. So it's like a preparation for the communion.
It's so beautiful. Mhm.
Yeah, so some feasts, um, we have, I know we have a difference that apostles fast is different. Sometimes it's shorter in like Antiochian or Greek churches because of that, different calendars. But generally, it's the same. I don't think we have many differences, just cultural differences.
Mhm, mhm. And so what else do you want to share with us? Your parents live in Russia, and do they ever come to visit you in the US?
No, unfortunately not, just because of coronavirus
Well,
and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Usually we go to them, we visit them, and usually we visit some places in Russia. I show my husband some places.
Mm.
Yeah, there are a lot of holy places where we go. Like, for example, in my city, there was mm, there is a church which was built where um, there were a lot of martyrs during the communist time, so they built the church there. So it's dedicated to our saints, like Samara saints. Like Samara is the city where I lived, so they call it Samara Saints Church, like the
Oh.
new martyrs.
Do you have any photos of that church on your Instagram?
I think it's one of the first posts. Yeah, I have. I think I have um, a story or something. Yeah, there was a post. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna put the link to your Instagram in the description of the video. And back to traveling, you said you've been to Egypt. Have you been to any other Middle Eastern countries?
We visited Holy Land. Actually, it was our kind of honeymoon trip. So after we got married, we decided to go to the Holy Land and visited the. Um, we lived in Bethlehem and visited Jerusalem and holy places.
Oh
That
my gosh, that's amazing.
was a
Oh,
nice trip. Actually, I know that in America they organized a trip to the Holy Land,
mhm,
so
yeah.
it's a good place to go. Yeah, maybe after coronavirus
Yeah,
open.
right. First, I'm going to Greece for sure. That's my number one desired destination. I want to go all over Greece. So many places I want to see. I've been to Europe, but I've never been to Greece. Um, it's just the very top of my list for sure. So I'll go to
Mm.
Cyprus now that I know that that's your favorite place over there.
Actually, there is a very strict monastery in Cyprus. It was established by Saint Helen, the Queen. When they found the cross in the Holy Land, then she brought the cross to the Constantinople, and there was a storm, and they just reached Cyprus, and she uh, like there was a vision, or there was a vision of the piece of the cross was up on the mountain, or I guess I think it was the whole cross up on the mountain. It was something like a vision, and she built the monastery there, and she gave them the piece of the cross. So
Wow.
it's a very ancient monastery, but they're very strict. The same like in Mount Athos, they don't allow women to go
Mhm.
inside. And when my husband went there, they asked him at the gates to cross himself. And they asked him, "Are you Orthodox?" Say yes. And then they ask him a lot of questions, and then ask him how he crossed himself to show that he
That
is
he,
Orthodox.
yeah, that he didn't do the other side. Interesting, huh? So are you saying if you're Roman Catholic, you can't, and you're obviously a man, they won't let the person in to,
I'm not
uh,
sure about that, but
they just
they're
want to
very
know.
strict. Maybe they want to know the same like in Mount Athos. They have a certain amount of people who can visit Mount Athos,
Mhm.
but they are not Orthodox. And then also some people who are Orthodox.
Hmm,
I guess I'm not sure.
hmm.
Yeah.
So how long was he there for?
In Cyprus,
No, at Mount Athos.
Oh, he visited 3 times, and he went there for, I think, not more than 2 weeks.
Oh,
So like he visited for a short time. Yeah, I think 2 weeks or so, but he walked a lot. So he walked from the monastery to the monastery.
mm,
And yeah, he actually called me on Skype. Like he called me, we had a video call, and he showed me some monasteries. One of the monasteries I really love is Simona Petra Monastery. It's very beautiful, like outside, it's on the rock. So when he called me, I asked him when he go to the monastery, and not in the monastery itself, but outside, just to, to see that monastery. I don't know if it's allowed or not, but I just saw that monastery and it was just so beautiful. The
uh,
sunset and the sea. Yeah, it was
mm.
very nice. Also, there is a trip, like if you go to Greece, there is a trip, like a cruise around Mount Athos.
Oh, that would be fun.
Women,
Yeah,
and
to see
they
it from the sea, from the boat.
and also they bring the relics, because there are so many relics of many saints. So the monks usually bring the relics to the ship, so you can venerate those relics.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I would like to go.
Oh yeah.
Or actually did that. Yeah.
What about, have you been to Lebanon?
No, never visited, but we wanted to go to Lebanon. Yeah, there are a lot of places there. Like one of places, I think Hamatura Monastery. It's like ancient monastery. And there are some other. I would like to go to Syria. I know it's for some people maybe it's crazy to go to the Middle East, but there are so many. Like for example, in Syria, I would like to go to one place where they still speak Aramaic language, the language of Christ, and it's a Christian village. They have a monastery. Um, it's a place where Saint Thecla was, and she hid there from the persecutors. They were going to kill her, and she hid there and lived for some time.
Wow.
So that's very, very interesting. Also, of course, want to go to the Holy Land again. Um, yeah, it's always nice to go there.
Yeah, I hope we can start traveling again soon. So, let's see. Did you have any other book recommendations, or anything for the audience, or anything else you wanted to tell us about?
Yeah, actually, I would like to go to some places in America, because in America, for me, growing up in Russia, I never heard about America, and I mean about Orthodox America, and when I learned about it, was something interesting and something um, like something like a hidden pearl, I would say, like the same like a parable about hidden pearl, which you find and it's like a treasure for your heart. I feel that in America it's something like that. The orthodoxy is hidden, but when you find it, it's very like a treasure. And there are a lot of places here. Like for example, we visited some monasteries like Jordanville, St. Tikhon's Monastery here in New York and Pennsylvania, and also in California. There are a lot of holy places. Yeah, I think that for me it was something new and something um, interesting, especially history of the Orthodoxy in America. A couple days ago, I was listening for some lectures of Metropolitan, and he was speaking about how Orthodoxy started. And one man, he was Orthodox, but he actually moved from England to America, and at the time it was forbidden to like confess any religion except the like Anglican Church. So he would translate all the books, and he had a chapel. I think it's in Virginia. So I'm just learning now. It's something new for me. Um, So it's amazing how it's that there are Christians here, Orthodox Christians. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you read anything by Father Seraphim Rose?
No, actually I didn't, but I heard about him, and I read a couple chapters of his book, but I didn't finish it.
Oh,
I
you
know
didn't.
he's very famous, and some of the topics are very interesting. Like he was speaking about different religion, how he was looking for
Mhm.
like God or truth,
Yeah.
and that's very interesting. And I would like to read about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I thought of him. I asked about him because I know he's very popular in Russia.
yeah, many books are very popular, and yeah, he's very famous in Russia. We know him. Um, but I actually never read. And one friend of mine told me that you are losing so much. You didn't read his book.
Yeah, one of the first books I read
Oh, you
on
read?
orthodoxy was Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future, because as you said, he was searching for truth in all these different places, including Eastern mysticism, which is where I was searching for truth for a very long time. And so I really love that book. And I'm reading, oh, in fact, I can show the audience what it looks like. Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future. And then I have The Soul After Death, which I'm reading right now, and Nihilism. I'm in the middle of that as well. I have several books I'm kind of in the middle of. I just kind of read a chapter here and there in between reading the Bible. But yeah, you can see behind me, I've read not all of these, but these are just some of my favorites I like to have near me, near my desk. But anyway, this has been so much fun. I don't know, anything else about just any for someone who's new to Orthodoxy, anything you want to share about what you love about the faith, or anything to inspire someone to maybe go and attend divine liturgy?
Um, I don't know what to give advice. I don't think I can give advice to somebody because I'm still learning about Orthodoxy. I mean, I'm Orthodox, but we're always on the way and just support each other. For me, one of the saints who really helped me on my way. So, like, it was something um, that helped me a lot to go to church. Was Saint John Damascus. That's why maybe I want to go to Syria. So his book really inspired me to learn more about the faith and think about it, not just that believe because I'm Russian. I thought at that time it's not just for me to be a Russian and go to church, but he helped me to think about it as like, why do you go to church, why do you believe in God, and all these arguments. I think it's one of the best books for those who are looking for the good logical arguments and good logical explanation for the faith. Yeah, so that one really helped me. And then also there are a lot of books, like for example, um, like Father Seraphim Rose, as you say, some like his books, some like, for example, the Elder Joseph, the Hesychast. He wrote about the prayers. So, for example, sometimes when I don't have the mood to pray, or I feel I'm lazy, I just reread his letters where he is saying, like he's writing to his pupils what to do and how to
Mhm,
pray.
mhm.
And uh, when you feel that spirit of Holy Fathers, it really helps um, to start praying.
You said Joseph the Hesychast. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I have his
Okay.
book. He has actually very nice letters about the prayers. his like where he lived. It's on the Holy Mountain, Athos. Very interesting.
Okay, I'm writing that one down too. Monastic wisdom, is that what that was called?
Yeah, there are some of them. There are different books, but this one just have the letters. There are different books. They sometimes, take the letters and add something else from his writings. Yeah. Actually, his pupil Father Ephraim built many monasteries.
Right, in
One of them
Arizona.
in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
it
can't wait
was
to visit that one.
it was nice experience. We actually visited it a couple of years ago, and when we left the monastery, after some time, I feel so sad. I don't know why. Just feel so much like a spirit of prayer there or something. I don't know. Just encouragement to pray, or I don't know what it was, but it was just nice experience. And the liturgy at night was very nice, even though it was in Greek. But still, I love it so much.
But he built several monasteries around North America, is that right? More than just that one.
Yeah, I think 17 or so.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that's a lot.
yeah, that's a lot for a person who doesn't have money, just a monk, and from Greece came to the United States and built so many monasteries. Yeah, that's amazing.
Really is really amazing. There's so much about orthodoxy to explore, and thank you so much, Julia. This has been a lot of fun. I learned a lot from you, and just happy to connect with you and continue watching you on Instagram, see what you post next. I wanted to let the audience know that I started a Telegram group for women, and I want to really underscore this. It's not just for Orthodox women. It's not just for catechumen or baptized. It's for anyone who's just interested at all. You have any amount of interest in wanting to learn about the faith, you can send me a message on Instagram at a devotional heart, and I can give you the invite. So far, we have 55 ladies, and we're going to be doing 2 Zoom calls a month. And just want to remind everybody to subscribe to my channel if you like my content, because you'll get notified if you hit the bell when I upload my premieres or when they launch. It's usually 5 o'clock on the day of the week. Changes sometimes, usually Tuesdays and Fridays, but for instance, right now I'm planning to upload a new video every day for 5 days. So we love to chat with everyone in the live chat when those go live. And Yulia, thank you again so much for this conversation, and God bless you and your family. And just happy to know you and to have spent this time with you.
Thanks, me too. Very happy.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it for now. And everybody have a beautiful, blessed day. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.